Hello again from the forge. Mid-afternoon. Already been out here hammering steel just about all day, working on Christmas orders and trying to finish up a cane sword build that I've been working on for months, and I've almost got it. But I made good progress today, so I thought I'd make a video. Got another little piece of 3/16 1084 flat stock. It's high carbon steel, of course, for those of you that aren't familiar with the numbers. I'm going to hammer it out and see what we get. I want something, I think, with a little integral guard, maybe a bird's head type pommel, and we're going to draw the blade out. I want the blade to be flat, to be sort of straight, instead of like an upswept skinner. But anyway, let's get it hot and see what happens. All right, starting out working on the handle, and what I'm doing is knocking this corner up, and that corner is actually going to be the beak on the bird's head handle. Now I'm knocking it down and offsetting in toward what's going to be the bottom of the handle, and you can see the bird's beak there, the bird's head already starting to form. Now I'm just going to round that over. I'm not actually going to carve a bird's head onto the hilt of this knife. That's just what this particular style is called. Well, unless somebody wants a bird head on it. And you can see I'm just working in the handle for the width and roughing out the profile. Knocking it down, making it not quite so wide. I want kind of a thin knife, a smallish knife here, instead of a fat, chunky handle. I want something thinner and a little more graceful. There we go, just turn it around, figure out our measurement, mark it, and go ahead and make our offset for our handle to blade junction. You can see the handle starting to take shape. Need to work the profile of that handle a little more. Thin it down some more. Knock the width in a little more. Try to keep the thickness the same. It's looking pretty good. Now I want to make an integral guard. So I'm going to use that and go right in front of where I made my handle blade transition. And knock the blade down. We're just moving steel. And now we're going to knock that down. I almost made a mistake here. That edge is way too square. If I'm not careful, I end up with a cold shut where the steel had folded over. And if the steel folds over, and ignore the squeaking you hear in this video, the dog has a squeaky toy. Anyway, I had to take that squeaky toy away from the dog, but needless to say, if you have a square shoulder and you're not careful when you're forging and it folds over, it'll make a weak spot in the steel. You'll end up with a crack every single time. So now, I'm just going to stretch that blade, stretch the material out that's going to be the blade. It's going to be too long, but that's fine. I'll knock some off of it. I'm going to stretch it out, keep it narrow, and just even it up. That's looking pretty good. I think we're going to trim some off of this in just a second. Just need to keep it the right thickness and get the width even. One more time. Yep. All right, let's get out the Hardy cutter and cut this off for length. Now I'm cutting it off at an angle so I can use that angle to forge in the point. Now, let's turn that thing around so you can see what I'm doing. So I cut part way through the first time. I flipped the blade over. We're going to cut back through from the other side and just knock the piece off. Get that hardy cutter out of the way and forge the tip down. Don't want a real long taper, kind of a short taper on this one. Yeah, it'll do. Now we're going to knock a reverse curve into this blade. Like I said in the intro, I want this blade pretty straight. So I've got to put that reverse curve in it so that as I hammer in the bevels, it doesn't get a big backward sweep in it. Trying to knock in the choil, and it's just not happening. I need to get the small cross peen out. I want that choil to be pretty square, so I'm using that small cross peen to pull material down right back at the edge of the integral guard. The big hammer just wouldn't get in there. Not bad. Now we can move some steel with the big hammer. Again, I apologize if you're hearing odd sounds in the background. We have a Catahoula hound, and he's still pretty much a puppy. And everything he does makes noise. So right now, I'm just hammering the bevels in, and you can see how that's straightening the curve out of the blade. I want that blade to be pretty straight. Happy with it so far. Just keep working it out. It's gonna bend up on the end and I'll have to fix that. But it's still gonna be pretty good. Almost there. I could leave that long clip point in, but I don't like that. So we're going to straighten this blade out a little bit. I've left it a little thick on purpose, just so I could straighten it out. Like so. And I'll thin it back down now as I'm knocking out the hammer marks. This is working out to be as clean a piece of forging as I've ever done. Fiddle around with it and get all the hammer marks out and make sure everything's straight. Looks pretty straight to me. Yep. It's pretty good, that'll do. Okay, folks, don't mind the black. Apparently, I wiped my hands on my face after I put some coal in the forge. Well, we're done with that one. I've got it normalized and hardened, ready for temper. As you can see, that really came out nice. This has not been to the grinder. Those lines are absolutely clean. About a 4 3/4 inch blade. I could almost just put an edge on this, not polish the flats at all, and it'd be ready to go. Anyway, if you're still here, thanks very much for watching. Be sure and hit that like and subscribe button. Leave us a comment in the comments section. God bless and have a great night.